let's talk about what Bloom's taxonomy is and why is it important to the language classroom. So my question to both of you, what is it and why is it important?
I'll jump in here first if you don't mind, Karina. So just kind of generally, so Bloom's taxonomy is a tool to define and organize learning objectives so that teachers can plan and deliver instructional content and assessments that align with those objectives. They're important in the language classroom because they provide evidence, right, that learning is taking place. Students should be able to demonstrate achievement in concrete, measurable ways to ensure that the content and assessment tools in a lesson are valid and pedagogically sound. They also provide evidence for students, right, of their own progress and achievement.
Okay, so I really appreciate how you put that in context. But just to make sure what you're saying, if we work backwards in a classroom, what do we want students to do, not just what do we want to teach, then Bloom's taxonomy helps us build up to what we want them to do.
Exactly.
Okay, that's really helpful. Thank you. Karina, what can you add for us?
Well, taxonomy is classifying. When we talk about taxonomy, we're talking about a classification, and this is an ability that we humans have. We can classify information, and we classify things to communicate, to create a shared knowledge. So this reduces variation in students' achievement, and learning becomes more factual, less biased. It's not, well, I think, it's like really factual. There was this educational psychologist called Benjamin Bloom. He, in the early 1900s, died in 1999. He wrote the book called The Taxonomy of Educational Objectives, the Classification of Educational Goals. This was back in 1956. And this structured learning into three main domains, like the cognitive, affective, and psychomotor. This was then revised, of course, 1956, and updated by some of his former students, and they published a taxonomy for teaching, learning, and assessment. This was in 2001. In other words, this is the version that we're talking about when we refer to Bloom's taxonomy, the one from 2001. This revised version is a way to classify human cognition. So there's a list of words that define how we approach knowledge. It's a categorization of learning objectives, how we think, how we learn, how we understand, and of course the implications of this in the learning process.